great Sadhu Sila is a great character. Sadachara Sampanna, Sadasiva is. And such a character, such a pure devotee, and is Vaishnava Navata Sambhu. Prabhupada explained both. Is at the same time, he is faultless because he is the one who is giving shelter to the both even to the lowest of the lowest. Anybody and everybody is so auspicious. That's why he is so auspicious. He is ready to give his mercy to anybody without considering what will happen to him. He is the second concern. But he is ready to give his mercy. And he's topmost Vaishnava. So he's very dear to Vaishnavas and is very dear to Lord Hari, Lord Vishnu also. Very intimate relationship they have. And the most difficult task only person who will do is Sadasiv. So he will take care of it without second thought. So any difficult task, taking the poison or any of those tasks. So that is a characteristic. That's why one should be very careful to know the principles. What is the regulative principle? What is the enthusiastic devotion? How one can come to that? Prema Kumar the Mahan for discussing. So that's what this verse will cover. From sacrifices to chanting of the holy name and what to avoid. The pitfalls is stay out away from the aggressive, criticizing, assaultive behavior. And the path of on the path of devotion service. Now, to the degree that's when it will stop. Our fruitive mentality will stop. Lust, anger, greed will stop. So otherwise, this lust, anger, greed will keep on going. However, we may chant many rounds, when we don't give up this criticizing behavior, assaulting behavior, unmannerly, undignified, we can use many words. You will see that in Prabhupada. Which is not good at all as a practitioner of devotee. Especially, Prabhupada writes in one of the purport yesterday, I think I was reading, still writing. This is not a free society to enter. No, one should be very careful because we are here to take everybody back home, back to Godhead in this life. That means one should be careful. One should make sure that in our society, in our temple, everything goes as per the instructions of previous acharyas. Prabhupada is making the purport clear direction is giving. It's not that you come and do anything you want. No, you have to do exactly what is been instructed. We should try. We should try to act in that way. This is very important for everybody, not just only the leaders, but it is every member to understand what is Prabhupada is trying to tell us, how to practice it, how to come together, how to cooperate and work together, and establish and follow the principles of Srila Prabhupada and the movement. Each sampradaya has its own clear directions. What is the essential principle? Those principles has to be followed no matter what, regularly, every time. If we if we avoid those, then consequences are there automatically. So always unwanted things will germinate for anybody. Doesn't matter how many years we practice, that will germinate. Can never develop attention to chanting. No, not possible. So that's why we should be careful in understanding these purports by Srila Prabhupada. His stress is giving. Te api, with that context, we'll read the verse. Te api visvasruja syatram sahasra parivatsaran samvidaya mahe swasa yatreja rushavo hari. Word to word synonyms. Te, those, api, even, visvasruja, progenitors of the universal population, Satram, the sacrifice. So another point here is they continued on, even though Daksha and Shiva cursing counter, Shiva didn't curse the followers, Nandi. Cursing counter cursing happened. But even after that, Daksha left, Lord Shiva also left, followers left. But the Brahmanas who were started it was just turned to others, I forget. So they started the sacrifice and they continued on. That is another point also. Because whatever is the important instruction of Shastra, that should go on. There may be disagreements, people may fight, whatever. Let them do whatever they want to do. Gossip, the class may go on, people may gossip, yajna may go on, doing other things, other talks may go on. Let them do. But we should be concentrating on where the concentration should go on. If we think about others and let me also join them, not a good proposal. So that is the point also we should take consider proposal writing that in the purport. Sahasra, 1000, Parivatsaran, years, some Vidaya, performing, Maheswasa, O Vidra, Yatra, Inoj, Ijya, to be worshipped. Rishabha, the presiding deity of all demigod, Hari, Hari. Translation by His Divine Grace, Bhakti Vedanta, Swami Prabhupada, Prabhupada Vijay. The sage Maitreya continued, O Vidura, all the progenitors of the universal population thus executed a sacrifice thousands of years. This was the case in Naimisharanya. Bhagavatam begins with that. So the Goswami is speaking to in Naimisharanya sages. Same thing. But there also the attention was given to the six main important questions. Whole Srimad Bhagavatam on those six questions. So what is the perfection of life? Earlier class we were discussing. Prabhupada lays it out in Nectar of Devotion class. We are interested here in Prema Pumardo Mahan, developing love of God. Not for Dharma Pumarda, not for Kama, not for Artha, not for moksha. No, we are not interested. Our sampradaya is very clear. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taught Prema Pumardo Mahan only. To come to that, we should practice it properly so that we can attain that perfection, develop that love. Otherwise, it won't be possible. Please repeat. The sage Maitreya continued, Oh, Vidura, all the progenitors of the universal population thus executed a sacrifice of thousands of years. For the sacrifice is the best way to worship the Supreme Lord Hari, the personality of Godhead. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. It is clearly stated here that the stalwart personalities who generate the entire population of the world are interested in satisfying the Supreme Personality of Godhead by offering sacrifices. And that is the foremost principle. Anything we do is ultimately meant to please the Supreme Lord. Chanting, hearing, all the devotion, all the angas of bhakti, four bona fide sampradaya, they're all meant to please the Lord. That is the first principle. And is represented. These two principles has to be followed everywhere. Regularly we sing, Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasad. That means whatever Guru is instructing, what Prabhupada is instructing, those has to be followed. 5 or 6 things. Chanting, hearing has to go on. No matter what we don't do, chanting, hearing has to go on every day. Without that, we are not following the Prabhupada. We are not following our Guru. Then whatever else we may do, it doesn't matter because we are not pleasing. Then naturally we will not get the proper credits. Then we won't be able to actually perfect anything in this life. Chanting, hearing has to go on every day. Every day. Ideally in the perfect morning time, in the mode of goodness. Then only you can advance and come to the, go out of anartha nivritti, come to nishta and ruchi. Otherwise, it's not possible. But unfortunate to say, but that's what we pay attention on everything else. We pay attention to deity worship, we pay attention on 100 things, but not on the chanting and hearing. That means we have not understood anything much from Srila Prabhupada's instructions. Clearly laid out, but still that means the essence is not understood. That's why wherever proper secret of success, please make a note. So wherever stress, this is significant, Prabhupada writes in the purport. That means we are supposed to note it and follow that through. So we do something else, no use. What is use? Not understanding what Acharya has to say. The Lord also says, so the pleasing, so which is mentioned in 2-3 verses, Prabhupada, Ata Pumbir Sreshta Varnasram Vivas Tanustita Dharma Sam Siddhir Haritoshanam, Hari and Haridas, servant of the Lord, which is a pure devotee, spiritual master. Previous Acharya. Lord, also, that's what we carry on. We see that Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur did what Bhaktivinoda Thakur laid out. On top of it, he did, like establishing the Yoga Peeth, writing, just reading Bhaktivinoda Thakur's schedule. 8.5 hours he was writing. 8.5 hours, not 1, 2. Chanting for 3.5 hours. This is good. Sleeping only 3 hours. Grahastha, so many kids. 5 hours he was working. 6 hours he was working as a High Court judge. 6 to 8 hours, that is the standard generally. Many places you will see that in Prabhupada purports also. So whatever is laid out, ideally we should. Once in a while maybe, but ideally we should come to the practice because that's why it is laid out. That's why it is written, these things. We should try to follow 6 hours sleep. Prabhupada writes in many places 5 to 6 hours. So we should try to follow those things so that then we can actually perfect if we follow that process. Otherwise we can't perfect. The Lord also says in Bhagavad Gita, Bhoktaram Ignatapasam, one may engage in performing sacrifices, severe austerities for perfection, but they're all meant to satisfy the Supreme Lord. That is the whole purpose. If such activities, so we don't ask Guru, we don't ask any Acharya or advanced devotee, and we try to, yeah, I will do these things for this festival. No, it won't actually be beneficial. We should always consult. If Prabhupada said so, then we follow it. If Prabhupada didn't say it, then we have to consult and ask from Guru. Otherwise, what is the reason of having a Guru? If we're not ready to consult, that means it's still mental speculation. Then with mental speculation, you can't perfect your chanting, you can't perfect your hearing. That is the first principle Lord Krishna is telling in Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, verse number 55. When Arjuna asked, what is self-realized character? First characteristic is he will not do mental speculation. He will not do whimsically whatever he likes to do. because he likes to do, he likes to enjoy, not to give pleasure to the Lord and Acharya. This should be avoided. If you want to come to the ideal practice, ideal citizen, then first thing you have to avoid is stop your mental speculation and follow exactly what Prabhupada is giving, what Guru is telling. That's what exactly we have to do. And then only then we can progress further. Otherwise, not much progress. One may engage in performance acts, severe austerity, but they're all meant to satisfy Supreme Lord. If such activities are performed for personal satisfaction, that means it's a passion and ignorance. So in the 17th chapter, verse number 21, 22, 23, Lord is laying it out how to perform sacrifices. If you do it for expecting a result out of false ego, that's a passion. Or rejecting the Shastric injunction, that is ignorance. But without expectation, without return, doing as a duty properly, that is mode of goodness. One should be done. And when you engage in these things, then you have to consider six things. You should distribute prasadam. You should be chanting the holy name. You should have proper faith on the scripture and sadhu and guru. And you should give the remuneration to the Vaishnavas, the priest, pujari. All these things have to. Anything you avoid, you are not getting the right result. You may do the yajna, you may do the puja, you may do the ritual, but you will not get the proper credit. If you do only one thing missing, then you will get one thing less in credit. If you want full credit, then you have to follow all the four. So everything is like that. Same thing. Full surrender, full benefit. Half surrender, half benefit. Yeah. Yeah. Inattentive chanting, then you will get the same fruitive results will go on, will be attached to this one, that one, so many things, not to attach to what Guru has to say. How will you please? So that's why attention has to be there where Prabhupada is stressing, what Shastra is stressing. Exactly. That is the principle here also. For performed for personal satisfaction, one is non-pasandi or atheism. But when they are performed for satisfaction of Supreme Lord, one is following the Vedic principle. All the assembled sages perform sacrifices for 1000 years with this intention to please the Supreme Lord. So that is the principle. We'll understand more. Om Ajnanativrandasya Gnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namo Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Krupatamham Vande Sri Gurum Devataranam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Iswaram Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sandhubhaya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Anantagadu Vaishnavanda Ki Jai Himachal Das Ki Jai प्रेम से गो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकं श्री रूप गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. This is on the topic of sacrifice, so we should look at the sacrifice thing first. Then we'll come to Prabhupada letters clearly writing it. So, what is that? Here, 1713, clearly 6 things which we talked about. Any sacrifice performed without regard for the direction of scripture, without distribution of prasadam, without chanting of the Vedic hymns, and remuneration to the priest without faith is considered to be the mode of ignorance. I don't know what is going on again and again. So we have to know these things. If you do anything, you will not get the credit. If you want full credit, then exactly. Whenever you do the program, puja, these things has to be considered. So the chanting of the holy names and distribution of prasad, that is the first thing. Otherwise, the mode of ignorance, passion. So at least we should do first class disciple, ideal disciple, at least operate on mode of goodness. Waking up in the morning, chanting, all these. Proper stressing, enthusiastic devotion service means you always do at the time prescribed. Stressed. Where the stress is given, you follow. That is what ideal disciple. Otherwise, we are not actually following the path, proper path given. Next, we will look at what Prabhupada is writing to Shivananda about the chanting of the holy name and everything. So far as you not completing your chanting, pay attention because Prabhupada is writing this. This is for all of us. I think this should not be a regular practice. If by chance you miss to finish in one day, that is a different thing. By chance. That is only exception, emergency. Not every day. But as far as possible, we must. This is not an option. We must try to complete the prescribed number of beats. Okay. Initially, we just started maybe one round, fine. But every day you do one round, don't miss it for anything except emergency exception. Whatever consistent you do, 4 rounds, whatever rounds you have. 16 round initiated means there is no option. 16 minimum. One should be going on more. You should try to chant at least 2 or 3 hours every day, at least. Professor says. We have got 24 hours at our disposal. So far, chanting we can find 2 or 3 hours without any difficulty. Simply, we have to adjust things in the right way. This is what ideal citizen, first class disciple means. You adjust, you understand. This is the first principle I have to put in life. Chanting of the holy name 2 hours, ideally early in the morning. Everything else you adjust. Everything else you have to adjust to that principle. If we don't, that means we are actually not in the bonfire, not in following the sampradaya. Yes, our sampradaya main chanting is the main first item. If you miss that, then everything else you may do, you will not get right result. You can go on doing it lifetimes. It will take it will go on. We can never come to perfection because that is, we're missing the real point. We may do so many things, but it won't work. So that's why we have to be concentrating on where the Prabhupada is stressing. And Prabhupada is also mentioning avoid the impersonalists. Also, as far as the question about the ecstasy of chanting and working for Krishna, the ecstasy which is automatically manifest is very welcome. But we should not try to come to this ecstatic status by artificial practice. So also discussing many of the advanced books we are not supposed to read. We are not supposed to read. What Prabhupada has given, read Prabhupada books first every day. Our acharyas, our guru varga is reading and hearing. First read Prabhupada, discuss from Prabhupada books. Let us not try to discuss from so many XYZ books and 100 things. Discuss from Prabhupada books as much as possible. Then you can refer, you can study. When we come to the advanced stage, when we verify, when we check with our guru and guru varga, advanced devotee, then if they say so, okay, you can read, then we can maybe personally read. Without that consultation, I will go on reading this one, that one, not reading Prabhupada's books, then how will you understand? How will we actually come to perfection? We can't perfect in anything if we do that. So that is disobedience to Sri Prabhupada and our Guru. So that's why we have to pay attention clearly. You should give more stress on the importance of chanting. Here we go. Working for Krishna is not different from chanting, but such work would be done under the direction of spiritual master every time, Prabhupada. For this reason, that's why Guru is there, to give guidance only. We think, Guru is busy with so many things. First you ask, now, first you do your thing, then you wait. Either it comes through Guru or Guru's representative, somehow or the other. Paramatma is watching what exactly you are doing, how much you are really concerned to discuss with Guru and understand and receive answer from Guru. To that degree, Lord will arrange, either from Guru or through different avenues, Lord will arrange. So Lord is there to reply and answer to the degree of our surrender, to the degree of how much attached to Lord's representatives. Lord is watching. So in this way we can understand this is from Shivananda. Then Vallabhi Prabhupada writing. The only difficulty of the soul is that in the conditioned state of material body, the soul is supposed to forget its identity. By chanting Hare Krishna, gradually the soul revives. It's not that it's a transformation, it's reviving. It's not a new thing. It's a way for God. Revive its identity or it comes out from the forgetfulness. This is not exactly development. So we're not developing, it's reviving. But it is reviving one's consciousness. Everything will be gradually clear as you go on chanting Hare Krishna. Please try to chant at least 16 rounds of beads. And while chanting, try to hear each and every word. That will make you advance in every respect. That means if you concentrate with very attentively, absorbedly chanting in the morning, 16 rounds, this will very quickly, rapidly, one can advance. This is where our attention should go on. Chanting and hearing. The more we hear, more we can chant better. More our darshan will be absorbed. More we can remember the lotus feet of the Lord. More we will know exactly what is to be done, how to balance our life, how to do our job, how to become smart in dealing with everything. Everything will be revealed. More we don't pay attention to chanting and hearing, nothing will be revealed much in our heart. So that is the problem. Prabhupada is writing in this way about pretty much everything. So if you try to follow my instruction, you'll feel that my body is in your presence always. I know that you all devotees of Santa are very much anxious to get me back there. I'm trying to go back there as soon as possible. In the meantime, go on with your chanting and hearing. See again, chanting and hearing. This is the stress given because every sampradaya has its a core essential principle. In our sampradaya, it's Bhagavat Vidhi, Pancharatri Vidhi. Bhagavat Vidhi means chanting and hearing. If you neglect these two, you go on doing deity worship from morning to evening, you will not get the result. That's it, period. So pay attention where it has to. So then you do other things, then no problem. But the stress is given, chanting and hearing, that you do, and that we have to do. And everything will be all right by the grace of Krishna. I hope this will find you all right. This is the purpose clearly laying it out. Further, we look at 4 to 19 and see what Prabhupada is writing. Where the lust and anger, why it will not stop in us. In Bhagavad Gita, therefore, this is the essence of in the chapter 3 also, similar thing is written at the end of chapter 3, last 2, 3 verses purport. It is advised that one who desires to make tangible advancement in spiritual consciousness must avoid three things: lust, anger, mode of passion. Actually, we can see that lust, anger, passion can make a man crazy, even though he be a great as Daksha. The very name Daksha suggests he was expert in all material activities. So naturally, that's what we said. Artha cannot lead to Paramartha. If that Artha is not properly used, we don't chant, we don't hear, and that money is not engaged in the service of the Lord at home for the deities and the devotees or at the temple, or both, ideally both. And so when we don't, then naturally, because this work, what we do is most of the work is all has implication. It's not based on the Shastra. So naturally, it has its own implication. Sometimes it's Ugra karma. So then, but if we engage it properly, use some of the things, we get the results. Then naturally we can come out of the lust, anger, greed. Otherwise, it's not possible. Lord Chaitanya therefore advised that one be very careful not to offend Vaishnavas. He compared offenses toward a Vaishnava to a mad elephant. A mad elephant can do anything horrible. So when a person offends a Vaishnava, he can perform any abominable action. This has come up from the anger of Daksha, Prabhupada writing. Anger is so detrimental, even a great personality like Daksha, out of anger, left the arena where Brahma was presiding. Brahma was telling, don't go, don't go. All the sages, don't go, don't go. No, he didn't pay any heed. Because one is in anger, that's what will happen. For great devotee, no problem. For Hanuman, Lakshmana, we heard from yesterday, from Valgovind Prabhu. Yeah, no problem for them. Because they are pure devotee, they are the Supreme Lord, no problem. But for ordinary conditioned souls like us, it affects immediately. If you don't properly behave with uh, pure devotees, advanced devotees. It appears that all the members, including Lord Brahma, requested him not to be angry and leave their company. But in spite of all these requests, he left. This is the effect of cruel anger. The Prabhupada clearly laying it out. So, what principle one should follow? 1 minute, I'll come to that. See, yeah, that is Vallavi also we covered. Sivananda we covered. Should also look at, yeah, Prabhupada writing. 343 also Prabhupada writing, the purport. Third chapter of Bhagavad Gita is concluded directed to Krishna consciousness by knowing oneself as the eternal servitor of Supreme Lord. One is certainly influenced by propensities of lust and desire for dominating the resource of material nature, desire for overloading. And for this, Prabhupada writes, this is the weakness of the heart in the 15th chapter also, attaining the Supreme. How will you attain it? First, you have to remove these two weaknesses to enjoy separately from the Lord, and then more and more lording it over the material nature. These two are the weakness. If you understand the first to fifth, as well as the fifth verse, Nirmana Moha Jita Sangha Dosha Adhyatma Nitya Vinivrittu Kama, if you understand properly that word, digest it, assimilate it, practice it, then weakness is gone, then you can advance. The rest of the chapter is talking about how to worship the Supreme Lord properly and attaining the Prema Purushottam, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who come to the attain his lotus feet. Here also same thing is mentioned. Desiring to overloading for sense gratification is the greatest enemy of the conditioned soul, but by the strength of Krishna consciousness, one can control the material senses, mind, intelligence. One may not give up work, prescribed duties, nowhere Bhagavad Gita clearly. You go on working with family, no problem. But the only thing is you have to operate on the ideal citizen principles, which is chanting and hearing and properly behaving with Vaishnavas. But by gradually developing Krishna consciousness, one can be situated in transcendental position without being influenced by the material sense of mind. By study intelligence directed towards one's purity. This is the sum total of the chapter. In the immature state of material and philosophical speculation, artificial attempts to control the senses by the so-called practice of yogic postures can never help a man. He must be trained in Krishna consciousness by higher intelligence. And that means under the guidance of bona fide spiritual master, advanced devotee, exact following principle, whether you are at home or at a temple, wherever we may be practicing it, but we should follow exact same principle, what Prabhupada laid out, then that will be perfection. That is the essence of today's verse, pretty much. Sacrifice leading to the chanting of the holy name. What is the best sacrifice? Chanting of the holy name. How to chant? Chant and hear. When to do? Ideally in the morning. Throughout the day, you can do rest of the extra rounds. Ideally, we should finish our rounds in the morning. That is the best time of the day, and that is the top priority, because that's what pleases Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Srila Prabhupada. So that's what we should do, chanting and hearing. Rest of the day, you do more, or you do other things. You do service and worship the deity and whatnot. You can do some quick worship of the deity in the morning. At temple, anyway, it has to go on, but for at home, you can consider later. So that is the main principle. Thank you very much. Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta ki jai, Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Krishna Mahaprabhu. We'd like to wish everybody a safe and Krishna conscious day and week ahead. And we'd like to offer our prayers to the Supreme Lord by chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Nrsimha, Jai Nrsimha, Praladesha, Jaya Padma Mukha Padma Bringam. Ugravira Mahavishnu Jalantam Sarvatvam Nrsimham Bhishanam Bhadram Mityam Namamiham. Nrsimha Bhagwan ki jai, Prahlad Maharaj ki jai. Let's offer our humble obeisances to all the assembled Vaishnavas. Vancha kalpatarubhayascha kripa sindhu vacha patitanam pavane vayo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Vaishnavinda ki jai, Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande.
Hari Hari Bol. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. Nice class.